It is nearly novelty season. I am off to Geneva in a couple of days for Watches and Wonders, so let's do a more chill video. I've asked for your questions over on YouTube community, and let's answer some of these. How is Longines getting it so right and Omega getting it so wrong? They are both under the same group. I think there's something really special happening right now with Longines in the enthusiast community, and there's been a bit of an excitement and buzz around them. But this is one of the more polarizing updates I've seen, and I've noticed differing opinions depending on platform. The key difference between Omega and Longines is the way they are operating right now during this time of wide-scale premiumization. Omega has been inflating their prices to the point where they are pricing a two-hand dress watch higher than a Patek dress watch in the same material. The Patek has a significantly prettier movement, a higher power reserve. It's absurd. Meanwhile, Longines continues to offer value for money. They are improving their design aesthetics and movements for unreasonably good prices. I think Swatch is struggling, and they're trying to save face. Swatch is a really interesting case study. Like, if you compare their share prices to, say, Richemont, Swatch never seems to be fully on the upward trend. They're up and down. They're just really weird. Whereas Richemont, if you go back as far as you can, they're on the upward trend. Swatch Group is weird. I think they're struggling on the whole more than they like to let on. What is a watch you love despite it failing to check the usual boxes for you? So many, honestly. I don't even know what my boxes are anymore. Something I love about watch collecting is that it changes over time. Your tastes evolve as you as a person evolve and change. I used to be very strict and only want tool watches, stainless steel, purposeful watches, but now I'm leaning much more into design and how a watch makes me feel. When you put something on and it makes you feel like $1,000,000, it just fits your wrist perfectly. Oh, that's what I'm looking for right now. And it doesn't have to be insanely priced to give you this feeling. My Tag Heuer F1 has that effect. Even weirdly, my Casio MQ24 BLL. I like the way they wear. They just feel awesome. The first watches that come to mind for me pertaining to this question is the Cartier Pasha. It's so weird. I feel like I shouldn't like it, but I do. And the Tudor Pelagus Ultra. I'd normally say this is way too big, but it surprisingly works. Ooh, also Panerai Submersible. Hot take, not all people who wear Rolex are into watches, but anyone who is into watches should have a Rolex. And Justin Hast is exempt from this rule. This is a very hot take. I disagree, but I see what you're trying to say. I think we have to consider people's budgets a little bit more. So many people, a lot of people cannot afford a Rolex, nor would it be sensible to buy one if it just stretches your budget a little bit too much. And it doesn't make people any less into watches. But I would say people who are deep into watches grow to respect Rolex. Like, they're not the be-all and end-all. They are what they are. Very good, reliable, solid build quality tool watches. We are fast approaching Watches and Wonders. Which brands are you really looking forward to and why? Number 1, for me, Tudor. Every single year, Tudor's novelties are exciting and fresh, and of course, celebrating 100 years since the brand's founding. I think they're going to party in a big way. 2, Grand Seiko. I feel like they're a brand that doesn't get their flowers, pun intended, because they're all nature inspired, Nomos. So they started attending in 2024, but last year was the big bomb drop with the Club World Timers. Rolex, of course, is embarrassing to say, but they're brand leaders and everyone's always excited for them. Ooh, and Patek Philippe. It is the 50-year anniversary of the Nautilus, and they have to make a fuss. Best hand-painted dials in the business? Well, funny you should ask. Let's talk about today's fabulous video sponsor, IFL, and their newest release. So this is the IFL Festina Freedom. It has just been launched today. April 13th, and it is limited to 200 pieces, so very, very limited run. This is one of the most distinct creations I've seen yet, on a retro-feeling rectangular design, and each style is hand-painted by IFL's in-house artists, so no two pieces are exactly the same. I really like the design choices that have been made here. This concept was born out of the typography of the letter F on the dial and became the foundation for a design built around freedom. The dial art is rendered in stencil and spray, which makes it feel more like contemporary street art. Once again, calling back to freedom and artists turning public walls into murals for commentary and creative expression. Some quick specs: these come in two sizes, so a 29mm and 36mm variant. The one I have in measures 33mm by 29mm with a thickness of 9mm. Rectangular watches always sound smaller than they are. This by no means wears small. Really nice sizing, 50 meters of water resistance, and both are powered by the Miyota GR12 quartz. I think they've done an awesome job here. They always do an awesome job. I love partnering with them. I love seeing their creations. If you want to go check these out, go click the link that is in the description. Even if you just want to see more of their creations, go click that link. And thank you so much to IFL for sponsoring this video. Which bracelet would you choose? The Chopard Alpine Eagle or IWC Ingenieur? Ingenieur. The taper is so good. It brings it to that next level, in my humble opinion. Your top 3 favorite and least favorite watches from Tudor. Okay, top 3, Pelagus Ultra, such a spec beast and attractive overall package. Black Bay 58, I know it's a bit boring, but that's where the charm lies. And the new Ranger in beige. I really think they hit something special with the color, very cool offering. Least favorite, the 1926 has never done it for me. I think I'd go Longines for this style. The Chrono S&G on the bund is a lot for the senses, and I'm suspicious of the silver Black Bay 58. I think a lot of people have experienced tarnishing despite the brands saying that wouldn't happen. Do you think social media improves collectors' tastes or makes it worse? Neither. I think it reinforces one's tastes, if that makes sense. And I would say it's been an overall net positive to this hobby. It's come with some downfalls, don't get me wrong, but overall net positive. I think taste is taste. You like what you like, but social media gives us the opportunity to see more options and curation. I've always liked FP Journe watches. From the first time I saw one on social media to learning more about the brand, it's a brand that I feel deeply connected to, and social media has given me the opportunity to see more Journe watches, how people style them, and like Journe adjacent brands that I wouldn't have heard of or had my eyes open to without social media. It's also just made me more open-minded to stuff. I didn't like the Cartier Panther. I thought it was a bit old lady-ish until I saw girls styling it on Instagram, and it kind of transformed it for me. Watch recommendation for non-watch loving wife/partner. Are matching his and hers Cartier Santos watches a cool or cringe anniversary gift if one person isn't into watches? You know, I've decided I'm not going to care about what's cringe and not cringe anymore. I'm not going to deny myself something I want to do because of how other people might perceive it and decide it's cringe. We have so little time on this spinning rock in outer space. Oh, who cares? Do what you want to do. Yeah, especially if it's not hurting other people. If it's like wearing a Cartier Santos. My husband and I want to get matching his and hers JLC Reversos for our 10-year wedding anniversary, mono face, and have some sappy engravings on the other side. What I would say is, if you're buying for your wife who's not as into watches, Cartier is one of the best starting places. That was the brand that got me into watches. So I received a Cartier tank for my 1-year wedding anniversary, and that was the first watch that really got the cogs turning in my mind. And I think it's a great starting place. How hard is it to get the FP Journe Elegante? So one of the questions I'm asked the most is how I was able to get my FP Journe Elegante allocation. It's a difficult one to get. Lots of people want one, as reflected by the current secondary prices. It's always hard to tell what is lore versus what is actually the truth in purchasing specific desirable watches, and it's different from brand to brand. Journe is incredibly small. I think there's 11 or 12 boutiques, and they make about 800 to 1,000 watches per year. So it's a pretty controlled operation. They have giant whale customers, like people who buy resonances and astronomiques, just insane watches. And they also have people who have been buying since the company began. So it can be very difficult to get specific desirable watches. The lore is an Elegante probably won't be your first allocation. There are a lot of people who want one. How true that is, I don't know. And will that be the case forever? I don't know. I was able to put my name down for one because my husband purchased a chronometer Souverain Havana dial, and it was helpful that I wanted the smaller variant. These are much easier to get. Most people want the 48mm Tidalite. So, short answer, it's not easy to get an allocation, and it probably won't be someone's first Journe. What I can say is that they're really protective over the right watches going to the right people and not flippers. One more quick thing as well, speaking into building a relationship, it's something people say a lot with Rolex, but it is something that really moves the needle with Journe. Once again, it's a very small operation. They want to understand you as a collector and where you see your collection going. And I know it sounds pretentious, but in my experience, this has been the case. I think they know it's pretty hype right now, and they're not looking for people jumping on a fad. They want people who understand the brand and actually love the watches. Last question, watches have decreased production by 50% since Y2K. They are on pace for continued decline over the next few years, reaching under 7 million by the turn of the decade. What can watch brands do to bring people back to watches? The investment hype period is now over, and that did not work. So what will? I mean, this is the stuff I could talk about all day long. Switzerland is just playing a different strategy right now. It's not about number of units shipped, it's price per unit. I feel like we're in the midst of a massive shift in the way consumers spend due to wealth distribution. A lot of normal income people feel like they have less money to spend at the end of each month. Well, no, it's factually true. Middle income people have less money to spend at the end of each month, and their purchasing power is dwindling. So when you're worried about your wage versus inflation, cost of petrol, cost of living, you're buying fancy wrist jewelry isn't a top priority, especially when things feel so uncertain, when I don't know how much petrol is going to cost in a month. I'd rather keep money in my savings account. But very, very wealthy people are still spending. So we've been seeing this widening gulf of premiumization, creating fancier products for very, very wealthy people who are still buying and moving less towards catering to normal people. This is why Richard Mille can sell 5,000 watches a year and still have an estimated turnover of 1.5 billion Swiss francs. I'm really sad about the state of the world. I don't talk about it much on here because I think people tune in for escapism and to look at pretty movements, and I get it because I'm doing the same right now. But I do feel silly sometimes making videos on, is that Rolex even that good? When I feel really down about how things are being run. What I will say is throughout the course of history, I don't think there's many times where it's worked out well when the rich continue to get obscenely rich while the average and middle class struggle. Let's finish on a more positive note. Let's bookend this video with Longines. I think this is a really big reason on why enthusiasts feel so positively about them. They are this storied brand name offering very good watches for an achievable but still aspirational price. Yeah, let's end there. What do you think of the new Longines Hydra Conquest and the evolution of this model? Let me know in the comments down below. Do you think it's too many shapes too? Or do you miss the 1269? I don't know. Let me know. Can't wait to see your thoughts. Thank you so much for your viewership. Thank you to IFL for sponsoring this video. And now, thank you to the Pope tier patrons. Get their names on the screen. Hello, Pope Tier patrons! Silly season is here. I'm so excited. I think it's tomorrow. By the time this video goes out, I think it's tomorrow? Maybe the next day. Doesn't matter. Thank you for supporting my weird little channel. You guys keep me in business. You keep this channel a financially viable thing for me. I've just bought a new light that's over there because of patron support. So thank you so much. I hope you keep enjoying the channel. I hope you keep enjoying the work we do here. And even if you don't, even if you opt out and never watch my videos again, that's okay. Thank you for supporting it. And I hope you keep enjoying watches forever. They're awesome. You're awesome. And we'll see you in the next one.